Chevy scoreboard, bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees building a little picket fence starting in the 3rd, and they lead 3-0. And Lyle Overbay will lead off against Mike Mussina. Mussina's allowed just 2 hits, an infield single and a clean single to center. The infield single to Wells, and John McDonald with the single to center. 51 pitches for Mussina, 35 strikes, so better than a 2-to-1 ratio.
All right, now the first time up he fed Overbay a lot of off-speed stuff, and he's doing it once again. Overbay having a good year. His career high in home runs came last year in Milwaukee with 19. He's come over to the American League, and he's jumped right into the power stroke. American League known as the Thunder League, and he's got 16 home runs, so he should blow by his career high of 19, which he had last year with the Brewers in a good hitting ballpark.
Slice the other way. That could be trouble deep, and that ball is a foul ball. Kept slicing, and it sliced into the seats.
Which is exactly his swing. He hits many balls left field, left center. He'll hit home runs that way. Really not taking advantage of a very good hitting stadium in Millard Park because of the short porch and right. But Lyle Overbay is a guy that likes the ball out over. He gets deep in the bat swing and goes the other way as good as any lefty.
He's more of a doubles player than a home run player, but he has 16 home runs on the year. The 1-2 outside. The Brewers had to make a choice. Do we deal Overbay or do we deal Prince Fielder? And Prince Fielder, former #1 draft pick, they decided to go with him, and it's paid off because he's become a very good player.
The Prince who would be king.
Overbay steps out.
What was his dad's name? Big Daddy or something?
Cecil.
Yeah.
No, but wasn't he Big Daddy or something?
Big Daddy, yeah. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Overbay down on strikes.
You know, this kind of reminds me of the game early in April here when the Blue Jays had won the first game of the series. They hammered Randy Johnson, and Mike Mussina came back the next day and allowed, I think, 3 hits in 7 1/3 innings, or 7 hits in 7 1/3 innings, and struck out 7. The Yankees won 3-1, and Mussina, you know, the Yankees lost yesterday, and he's pitching after a Yankee loss. This is what you need, somebody to come out and just say, hey, we're starting another winning streak.
5-1 after Yankee losses this year, and the pitch to Molina is a strike.
Well, I think that's one of the biggest compliments that you can hear from teammates is when they say that they're stoppers on the mound. When there is a losing streak, and certainly not one game we're talking about as a losing streak, but when you're the guy and everybody's feeling really good about the chances of winning that day, to me, that's an ace, and that's a front-end guy, and certainly Mussina's pitched that way.
Yeah, but the Yankees are on the field tonight. They know the Red Sox won today, so that to keep pace, they got to win.
Well, the Yankee starting staff has certainly been questioned, and whether or not Brian Cashman's going to go out and get a starter before the trade deadline. But the bottom line on all this, there aren't many top threes as good as the Yankees with Mussina and Randy Johnson and Chien-Ming Wang, because Chien-Ming Wang now has ascended to an elite level. That's a pretty good top 3. If you make the playoffs, you can get by on 3 good pitchers. And Jarrett Wright has stepped up as well. Sidney Ponson did very well in his first Yankee start as Molina goes down on strikes. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by the New York State Smokers Quit Line. Call 1-866-NY-QUITS for free help and advice. Start your smoke-free life today.
Yeah, no, Mussina has 2 strikeouts this inning. He's had at least 1 in every inning. So far, it's been like a hot knife through butter.
Here's Greg Zahn. And a strike. Zahn struck out, one of those strikeouts in the 2nd inning. Zahn was not happy. He was coming into the season as the starting catcher, thought he had a good year last year. But then Benji Molina misplayed his free agent hand and was out there for a relatively low price, and J.P. Ricciardi jumped on it, and Zahn became a backup catcher again. There's Benji. Last with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Keep feeding breaking balls to Zahn. Al said before, a good fastball hitter. The count 2-1. High drive, right center field. Johnny Damon on the run. He has room, and he'll make the play in the gap right in front of the warning track for the final out of the inning. So Zahn just missed it. Mike Mussina has retired 8 in a row. Blue Jays go down in order 1-2-3 here in the 5th. We take this to the 6th. It's the Yankees 3, Blue Jays nothing. Hey fans, get a second chance to see the latest game with WB Mason Presents Yankees Encore only on Yes. Tune in every night of the next morning at 9 for the big hits and great plays another time around. Don't miss WB Mason Presents Yankees Encore only on Yes. Jason Giambi fists one up the middle, but Troy Gloss makes the play. The only infielder on the left side, one down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. You see Jason Giambi hitting that line drive up the middle. If there's no shift, that's a base hit. And you just see what David Ortiz did yesterday against Kansas City. He bunted in the first inning down the third baseline to pick up a single. Alex Rodriguez chops one to short. McDonald, 2 away.
Are you suggesting?
Well, now they're up 3-0. I guess you don't need it. But every now and then, if you would bunt down there, maybe it loosens it up.
3-0. Yeah, let's go for more runs. Tack on. If you know.
He just doesn't feel comfortable doing it. I mean, we've spoken to him about it. They've been doing this shift for about 3 years on him. Has
he bunted yet this year?
I don't think so.
I've seen him, unintentionally hit the ball the other way and pick up like a squib single. But that's a once a year thing, I think. Just do it. Get it down, beat it out, just so you can say you filled that column, a bunt base hit.
It's hard to argue with him this year at 28 home runs and 77 ribbies, but his batting average is not what it used to be. Because when he was with Oakland, he was a 300 hitter.
Yeah, you got to wonder how many hits the shift has taken away from him.
Well, David Ortiz said that he's not going to be a 300 hitter this year because of the shift.
Yeah, but did they say that to Ted Williams? And he still hit 400.
Right.
Well, Jason at least has the third baseman playing where the shortstop is. Big Papi, there's nobody on that side. So really, if a hard bunt and you can get it by the third base and kind of roll foul, it's not a single, it's a triple. It's a double.
Yeah, something happens in left fielder.
So see nobody on first inning. Why not?
Well, that's what he did yesterday, and turned out that the Red Sox won the game 1-0. In fact, 2 straight 1-0 wins for the Red Sox against Kansas City, and they hadn't done that since the early 1900s at Fenway Park. Count 2-1 to Posada. Posada's 1 for 2. Halladay has not been as sharp as he usually is, but he's such a great pitcher. He's down just 3-0 here in the 6th. 62 pitches, 43 strikes. And a strike, 2-2.
Tell you one thing, the Yankees, when they've gotten men on, they haven't hesitated to move them along. He had a sacrifice bunt in the first inning, 2 stolen bases that both led to runs in the 3rd and the 5th inning.
Posada squibs one the other way, and that's a base hit. Right inside 3rd and down the left field line. Posada will motor into 2nd with a 2-out double.
Is that your Giambi type hit you're looking for?
Something like that.
Well, let's see if the bat's going to survive this. I'm not sure. He got all in on his hands, but you know what? You can always get another bat. You can't always get a double. And this is going to roll down the third base line. Frank Caladano will get over and pick it up before any of the fans can get to it. But Posada's on second with 2 down.
15th double of the year for Posada. There's Bernie Williams with a double and an RBI and a fielder's choice ground ball. So again, the Yankees with another runner in scoring position. They've done a good job against Halladay.
Yeah, I had mentioned that Bernie was just 1 double behind Don Mattingly. Now Bernie has 441 in his career. And Don Mattingly on the all-time Yankee list, just 1 ahead.
You know, it's funny. I heard Mattingly talking to Bernie in the hotel and said, you know, I don't think you should risk going for doubles anymore. Just stop it first and take the single. Popped up. Foul territory. Gloss is there. Did he make the play? No, he did not. Fans fought him for it, and he couldn't come up with it.
You know, once you reach into the stands, you know, you're going into the territory of the paid seats. So the fans have every right to go for the ball. If a fan reaches over and actually interferes with Gloss going for the ball, then an umpire in his discretion can call the hitter out. But in this case, Gloss obviously reached into the stands. And obviously that's a Yankee fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, if a ball came there, who would want to be the next Bartman? Who's the young man that interfered during the Cubs in the Marlins series? Tough. That's tough. He will forever be reviled in Chicago. Strike 3. Bernie Williams down looking. And that'll do it for the Yankees in the 6th. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning. What can the Blue Jays do against Mussina?
Mussina's on through 5. His season high for K's is 8. He's got 6. His slider's on 63 pitches. I don't think he made a whole lot of mistakes, if any, today. Fastball's in, locks uphill there. His slider's working, tight little slider to Gloss. There's his curveball. Another slider. He's got a real good slider, and he's, as usual, when Mike Mussina's on, he is painting corners.
That was very filthy.
Pitch to Aaron Hill. 1-0.
Al, you remember your career high in strikeouts?
I do. It was 15 against the Cubs.
In Wrigley? Or?
In Wrigley, day game.
Man. Wind blowing in or cold?
Oh, it was blown straight out.
Oh.
And one thing doesn't make sense to me there. That one's lined down the left field line. That is going to be extra bases for Aaron Hill. Now has a 10-game hitting streak. Leadoff double here in the 6th.
Blue Jays' first hit since the 3rd inning when John McDonald singled to center. And one of the few mistakes that Mike Mussina has made tonight. It's belt high towards the middle. And Aaron Hill, as we mentioned, has a short, quick, compact swing. And that's one reason why the Blue Jays made him a #1 draft pick out of LSU.
Here's John McDonald. 65 pitches for Mussina. Better than a 2-to-1 strike-to-ball ratio. Here's what I didn't understand about that, Al. I've been out with you in Chicago. You pitched that well in a day game in Chicago. I'm not buying it. You sure?
What do you say? What do you say?
You enjoy the restaurants in Chicago. I've been with you.
Not the night before. 2 nights before. I don't do anything with the restaurants 2 nights before or the night before.
Meanwhile, this is the first time the Blue Jays have gotten a man to second base in tonight's game. See, while Michael's out on the town trying to get to first base, the Blue Jays have gotten somebody at second here.
And now that runner's going to get to 3rd. Slow roller to Jeter. And McDonald is tagged out by Phillips as Jeter's throw pulled him off the bag. 1 away.
Sometimes fans, you got to rein these guys back in. Get back to baseball. And here's Jeter's play, Andy Phillips with the tag. Chicago is a good town, though.
Runner at third base. The Yankees will play the infield back. Reed Johnson at the plate. And the grounder to third. They're going to come home with the throw, and it's a bad throw past Posada. Reed Johnson is going to go to second. The Blue Jays are on the board. Yankee lead is now 3-1.
Well, it was a good idea by A-Rod, but it was poorly executed. The ball was hit hard enough that he had to play it home on Hill, who was going on contact. But you can see the throw sails away, and it's another throwing error for A-Rod. It's the angle in which he throws the ball. You can see it's more like a sinker. It moves away from Posada, who was trying to protect the plate and make the tag on Hill, who's coming in, but the ball actually sails away from him. And the Blue Jays get on the scoreboard. That's going to be an error. E5. Fielder's choice for Reed Johnson. And he's now down at second.
No RBI. Here's Catalanato. There's a strike. Recently, with A-Rod's 3 errors the other night, and that one, he seems to be guiding the ball sidearm, and then the ball takes off on him. And usually when he makes his good throws, he goes right over the top.
You know, you would lead you to believe that maybe something's bothering his arm or his shoulder. Hopefully not.
Well, what we saw there, maybe we'll see it again. He definitely dropped, and when you get your elbow lower than your shoulder, automatically, most of the time, you're going to push the ball. That means the ball's going to sail either to the right or up, as it did there. It's going to have a little sailing, sinking action to it. Got to get your arm up.
The 0-1. Right in on the hands of Catalanato. 0-2.
Watch his elbow. His elbow's kind of dropped a little bit, and you throw off like a three-quarter sidearm pitcher almost.
You see Posada throw his hands up like, I'm right here, just give me the ball, and the ball was not on target.
It's got to be a rush throw. You know, it's a little bit forced. I appreciate it as a pitcher. You don't want the run scored, but perhaps maybe get the out. 2 outs. It's 3-1. Moose is pitching great.
The 0-2. Line drive. Base hit to right field for Catalanato. Here comes Reed Johnson. He'll score. An RBI single for Catalanato. New ball game now, as the Yankee lead has been whittled down to 3-2.
Well, we documented how well Catalanato has hit Mike Mussina in the past. So this is the guy that you really don't want up there with a chance to drive in a run. And he gets the job done. Didn't hit it all that well, but got enough. Watch him drop that elbow in to get the barrel of the bat to the ball, and just got enough of it to get it over the head of Andy Phillips and into right field. Well, he put the quick stroke on that one. That ball was all in on his hands, and he still got just enough wood on it.
Here's Vernon Wells. A strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Catalanato picks up his 45th ribby. Takes it the other way and fouls it off.
Now, one thing Mike Mussina has done lately, he's sort of gone to the Chin Ming Wong book of pitching. 72 pitches total, 51 of them have been strikes. His last 10 starts, including tonight, Mike Mussina has gotten 10 double play ground balls, and that certainly can get you out of some big time jams, as Chin Ming Wong really knows, who leads the league in throwing ground ball outs.
The 0-2. Chop left side through for a base hit. Moving to second, Catalanato. None of these balls except for Aaron Hill's double has been scalded. But the error by Alex Rodriguez certainly has not helped in this inning as Ron Guidry comes out to talk.
It's a little slider out over the plate. 0-2. Vernon Wells, very tough hitter with 2 strikes. Stays on it and just hits it hard enough in the hole.
He used that compact swing to his advantage that time, and not much of a swing, but looking more just to make contact and get out in front of that one. Mussina actually got what he wanted. He wanted a ground ball, but it just found a hole.
Here's Troy Gloss. Struck out twice tonight against Mussina. Yankee lead in jeopardy. The tying run is at second. We're here in the bottom of the 6th. Line drive past the lunging A-Rod and down the left field line. Catalinato will score. Vernon Wells rounding third. Here he comes. Here's the throw from Jeter. Not in time. It's a 2-run double for Troy Gloss. And the Blue Jays have taken a 4-3 lead.
Mussina had thrown a lot of breaking stuff to Troy Gloss, and this time it looked like he hung a breaking ball. Yeah, it's right there. And Gloss just rips it by third. When you're facing the better pitchers, when they make a mistake, you got to take advantage of it, because they can come back and make nasty pitches for the rest of the at-bat. The ball got hung up in the corner. Melky Cabrera gets it to Jeter. The throw is a little late, a little low, and the speed of Vernon Wells pays off.
Here's Lyle Overbay. Changeup swung on and missed. The count 0-1. Fastball upstairs, 1-1.
We talked about the speed of Wells. He recognizes there's a ball down the line and he has a chance to score. Catalinato ahead of him, and he gets the wave home from Brian Butterfield and the slide, and he's in there. He's a good all-around ball player.
Count 1-2 to Overbay. Overbay is 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded to short and struck out. So now the Blue Jays have given their ace, Roy Halladay, a 4-3 lead. Ground ball up the middle. Cairo's there. And he takes the out at first as Gloss moves to third. 2 outs.
From Mike Mussina's standpoint, he's trying to get the 3rd out in this inning and let this be his bad inning. Then shut the Blue Jays down from here and hope that his offense could come back against Halladay and score some more runs. This inning he has not made his best pitches, and with the error at third not helping at all, that kind of set things up.
Benji Molina with a high fly ball to right field. Bernie Williams is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the inning. But the Blue Jays take the lead. 4 runs on 4 hits, 1 big throwing error by Alex Rodriguez. And 1 man left on base. 6 in the books. Blue Jays 4, Yankees 3 on Yes. Sunday on Yes, don't miss an all-new episode of Kids on Deck presented by Lincoln Mercury with host David Justice. This week, Mariano Rivera shows Michelle Beadle his pitching secrets. Plus, Donnie Baseball teaches us how to prepare for each at-bat. Please catch an all-new episode of Kids on Deck this Sunday at 11:30 and again after the postgame only on Yes. So let's see how Halladay deals with the 4-3 lead. He starts Phillips off with a pitch outside, and then he paints the outside corner. 1-1, the IO digital cable scoreboard. Blue Jays 4 and the Yankees 3.
Halladay has not been as sharp as Mussina in this game. And one thing he has done, though, he hasn't walked anybody to complicate his efforts. You know, when you start walking people, it adds extra opportunities. The Yankees have had at least one man on in every inning against Halladay.
Count 3-1. Hit sharply to short. McDonald. One away. Alex Rodriguez alone with his thoughts.
Well, one might say in hindsight, you know, should he give up the out, get the out to give up the run? But that's a one-hopper right to A-Rod. Look where the runner is. He's got plenty of time. A good throw gets him. Third base coach Butterfield, when you have the infield back, especially the middle infielder on contact, the middle infielders are obviously just getting the out at first. But with a one-hopper to A-Rod there, he wasn't playing even with the bag. A good throw gets him out there and would have preserved what was a shutout.
Now here's the question, though, okay? The infield is back. So Joe Torre is saying, I'm giving up the run. And A-Rod's deciding to go home.
Yeah, the thing about it, though, when you're the third baseman, you're about the only infielder who has that play because the ball was hit directly at him. And on artificial surface, it got there pretty quick. So from a base runner's standpoint, you got to realize when the ball's hit directly to third baseman, you're probably going to be out. But the throw was a poor one. Even with the contact play on at third base, you still have to make decisions as to when to go.
And before that all develops, third base coach walks up, sees the infield, says, okay, you're going on contact.
The 2-2. Now Joe Torre told Kim Jones before the game that he plans on playing Alex all 4 games, but it is on turf and he's going to reevaluate to see how the turf affects Alex Rodriguez's injured toe. Remember, he injured the big toe on his left foot in Monday's game and sat out Tuesday's game. Now, I don't think that's why he made the throwing error, but if Alex continues to have throwing problems and Joe wants to sit him down every now and then, the toe is a good reason on the artificial turf to give him that day off. So we'll keep an eye on it all weekend. Melky Cabrera with a fly ball to right. Johnson is there. 2 away.
That is only the second fly ball out to the outfield off of Halladay tonight. Johnny Damon flew out to left field in the 5th inning. And that's what I was talking about, the hard sinker. Miguel Cairo actually had a sacrifice fly in the 5th, so that's 3 fly balls to center.
Here is Cairo, 1 for 1 with that sac fly. Now, strangely, in that inning, Alex is given an error. That's not the strange part. The strange part is that Reed Johnson is given an RBI on that ground ball to third, which makes no sense whatsoever, because if the throw was a good throw, the run wouldn't have scored, and it would not have been a base hit. So how does he get an RBI on that? Initially, they did not give him an RBI. Now they're giving Reed Johnson an RBI on a ground ball that the only reason the run scored is because of the error. So if there's no error on the play, the run doesn't score. Strange scoring as the count goes 2-1. And that also makes all 4 runs earned, which isn't fair to Mike Mussina, because he got an out that should have gotten the run at home. Because Reed Johnson comes around to score. Well, if not for the error, either Reed Johnson's out at first or the runner's out at home. So there's no way that all 4 runs should be earned in that inning. 3 should be earned, not 4, but 4 is earned because they gave him an RBI. Fouled away. Counter's full at 3-2. So a tough inning for the Yankees in the bottom of the 6th, and now 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. You don't like to give great pitchers a second life, and that's what they've done to Roy Halladay. The 3-2. Grounded to short. McDonald gobbles it up. And a 1-2-3 inning for Halladay here in the 7th. Yankees go down in order at the end of 6.5. Time for the 7th inning stretch. 4-3 Jays. Thank you, Bob. It has not been a good second half of the season for the White Sox because they have lost 5 of the 6 games after the All-Star break, swept by the Yankees, and they lose 2 out of 3 to the Tigers. The IO Digital Cable scoreboard, Roy Halladay and the Jays have a 4-3 lead over the Yankees. Mike Mussina has pitched beautifully and victimized by some bad defense in the 6th. He'll face now Greg Zahn. Fouled off. Along with Al Leiter and Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. We thank you for joining us on this Thursday evening. Bottom of the 7th inning. It is 4-3 Jays. Jays with 4 runs in the 6th inning. Zahn grounds one foul. We talked about how many opportunities the Yankees had against Halladay and how Halladay has not been as sharp as he normally is, but he's been sharp enough to hold him to just 3 runs. If they had cashed in on more of their opportunities, well, maybe the Blue Jays cash in it as well and the Yankees knock Halladay out. Right now, though, Halladay has a chance to pick up his 13th win. You have a great pitcher on the ropes, you have to take advantage of it, although that's easier said than done because a great pitcher gets tougher in tough situations. And Reed Johnson's ground ball at third really started the whole thing rolling in the 6th inning, and Alex Rodriguez threw it past Jorge Posada to allow the first run to score and allow Johnson to advance to second. Alex's 17th error of the year. Count 1-2.
You know what? When you have a game where the pitchers are pitching well, you have to play tight defensive baseball, and the Blue Jays have done that behind Halladay this year. They've only made 7 errors behind him all year, which is about 1 every 2+ games. And when you get a lot of ground balls, and Mussina's been sharp tonight, but it shows you just one little thing in a tight ball game can send things going off in the other direction.
Hit sharply to second, but Cairo was playing on what would be the outfield grass, 1 away. One thing the Yankees have going for them in the remaining couple of innings is that the bullpen for the Blue Jays has actually frittered away 4 leads for Halladay. So Halladay actually could be a 16-game winner right now, but the bullpen has blown 4 of his leads. Halladay has been known to complete games. Maybe that's one of the reasons, although they have a very good closer in B.J. Ryan. Pitch is high. Aaron Hill is the guy who started that 4-run 6th inning with a double down the left field line. You might see on the left sleeve of the Blue Jay uniform the initials TC and a microphone. That's to honor their longtime broadcaster Tom Cheek, who passed away. Tom with 4,306 consecutive games behind the mic for the Blue Jays before he fell ill and passed away. Fly ball to right field. Bernie Williams is there. 2 down. Tom, one of the class guys in baseball, and he is certainly missed. And he's actually on the cover of the Blue Jay Media Guide, and you see where it says, "Tom, you touched us all." One of his most famous calls, Joe Carter's home run that won the World Series. And Tom said, "Touch them all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run." Good guy. Really a great guy. He was behind the mic for the 92 and 93 World Series. And Al, you had an opportunity to have some of your games called by Tom when you were a Blue Jay.
He was a good man. Everybody around here, he was very much every part of this team.
Isn't it true that before he fell ill, he had broadcasted every game in Blue Jay history? He was at the mic for the first game, and 4,306 straight games for Tom Cheek. And the 1-1. McDonald pops it up foul. Phillips gives it a run, but it's about 10 rows back.
You know, the nature of baseball being, the way it's played, just about on an everyday basis during the summer. I mean, they pack 162 games in 180 days. And people who listen on the radio, Tom worked on the radio. You know, you have people who are sick and in hospitals and shut-ins and can't leave their homes. And this is like having an old friend come in every night at 7 o'clock and sit with you for 3 hours.
Grounded to Cairo. And that'll do it. Why don't we listen to Tom Cheek's famous call of Joe Carter's home run as we go to the 8th. Johnny Damon takes a breaking ball low 1-0. We go to the 8th inning. 4-6-1 Jays, 3-8-1 for the Yankees. Johnny reaches out and taps it the other way. Count 1-1. Damon with a single in the first, an RBI double to right in the third, and then he flied out to left. That was in the 5th. That's the F7. A broken bat pop-up, foul territory. Gloss is there, 1 down.
Like a little cutter in on the hands. It really took care of Damon's bat.
That's time for the Yankees in-game box score, sponsored by your Tri-State Lincoln and Mercury dealer. The Yankees have 8 hits. Haven't done as much with them as they would like. 2 for 4 for Damon. 2 and 3 hitless. Alex Rodriguez 1 for 3. Posada 2 for 3. Bernie's 1 for 3, a double and an RBI. Melky Cabrera scored a run, and Miguel Cairo scored 1 and drove in 1. So Jeter, Giambi, and Phillips hitless. The other 6 have 8 hits. Derek Jeter swings and misses.
Well, it shows you when you're facing a good pitcher, as we've been talking about all night. We're saying that Halladay is struggling a bit. There's his 91st pitch in the 8th inning. The batters basically have been trying to get out of there quickly. Damon has seen 5 pitches until that last at-bat, 8. Derek Jeter in his first 3 at-bats, 5 pitches. A-Rod 7. In the first 2 at-bats of Andy Phillips, 2 pitches. You know, so he's struggling, but the mindset of a hitter is, jump on him early, get the fastball. He's got good breaking stuff, and before you know it, he settles in.
Line drive right at Hill, 2 away. That's a really good point, Al, when you consider that's totally against the Yankees and the way they do business. But they're changing their approach against a great pitcher.
Inside out swing, and Aaron Hill got to get up to get down, and there's 2 outs.
Now John Gibbons is coming out, and I'm a little stunned. He's going to take Roy Halladay out of the game and call on his closer, B.J. Ryan. Halladay has a low pitch count. He has a 4-3 lead, but they're calling in Ryan to get 4 outs. We'll step aside for just a moment as they bring in the lefty Ryan to face Jason Giambi with 2 outs and nobody on. Well, despite throwing just 93 pitches, John Gibbons still makes the call to the bullpen to take out Roy Halladay. And the call to the bullpen brought to you by the McDonald's Dollar Menu, as Gibbons goes over and says, good job. And Halladay certainly doesn't seem upset because he's turning it over to a guy who's had quite a season, B.J. Ryan.
And, Gibbons brings him in to face Giambi because he wants the lefty-lefty matchup. This year, left-handers are just 3 for 37 against B.J. Ryan. And, of course, Jason Giambi, one of the top home run hitters in the league. Gee, that's a nasty pitch, borderline for a strike. 3 left-handed hitters who've gotten a hit off of Ryan. Ichiro, Langerhaus of the Braves, and Carl Crawford.
And that's probably why they took him out. Those numbers that you see Giambi has against Halladay, although Giambi against Halladay today was 0 for 3. See what B.J. Ryan has done. 34 base runners in 46 and 2/3 innings and 57 strikeouts and under 1 ERA. There's a strike. Blue Jays needed, in their opinion, during the offseason, they desperately needed a closer. They went out and they got B.J. Ryan. 5 years, $47 million. All-Star game winner. He's a security blanket for the starters, and he's got that funky delivery. And Jason Giambi goes the other way and takes a single through the vacated left side of the infield.
And he becomes just one of 4 left-handed hitters to get a base hit off B.J. Ryan. And we'll take a look at the sequence of pitches to Jason. A little cutter or a little slider away from ball. Fastball hits the corner. Looked like another slider that missed. Here's one that hits the inside corner. And Jason says, I'll go the other way this time. This is what Michael Kay's been calling for all year. And there it is. Giambi's on. And what it does, it brings up the go-ahead run at the plate. And it also has a tying run at first and a pinch runner at first. It's Bubba Crosby.
And also, it gives Alex Rodriguez a chance to atone for the throwing error, but he's 0 for 7 lifetime against B.J. Ryan. Alex tonight is 1 for 3.
Now, Ryan has only given up 1 home run all year. Yuniesky Betancourt of the Seattle Mariners hit one off of him here at Rogers Center to tie a ball game in the 9th inning.
Well, B.J. Ryan 24 for 26 in save opportunities. And he's had 9 saves of more than 1 inning. And that's going to be this if he gets through it. His 24 saves prior to the All-Star break is the high for a Blue Jay. Previously, 23 by Randy Myers.
And think about all great closers. They don't give up many homers. You know, Ryan had 1 year where he gave up 1, and it was Ruben Sierra. That's when he was in Baltimore as a setup man. He only gave up 1 home run before his closing role.
2-0. 3-0.
And Mariano has not given up a home run this year.
Jorge Posada is on deck. Roy Halladay now just a spectator. There's a strike. If there's a knock on John Gibbons as a manager, a lot of scouts don't like the way he handles his bullpen. He thinks that, or the scouts think, that he overuses it and that he blows them out.
Well, he's used the most relievers in the league. 299 times, as Michael said, he's gone to the bullpen. That's more than anybody else in the league.
3-1. And he walks A-Rod.
You know, the pressure is on somewhat here in Toronto, not only on John Gibbons, but also on the GM, J.P. Ricciardi. Here's a fastball up for ball 1. Outside and high, ball 2. Little cutter or a slider, low. Here's a call, strike, 3-1. And looked like a cutter or a slider again inside for ball. So the Yankees now have the tying run at second to go ahead and run at first. You know, Blue Jays spent a lot more money than they've ever spent here to field the team, thinking they can challenge the Yankees and the Red Sox this year, but lately things have not gone right.
And as we told you earlier, the Blue Jay bullpen has blown 4 of Halladay's wins. Posada 7 for 22 with a home run and 8 strikeouts against Ryan. Popped up, shallow left. Let's see if that dunks in, and it does. That's going to tie the score. Bubba Crosby scores. It's an RBI single for Jorge Posada, and the game is tied at 4. Third hit for Posada, a broken bat RBI single.
Yeah, Jorge's had a very good night. Like I always say, you can always get a new bat, right, Al? But you can't always come up with a game-tying hit. And this time he does. He's got nothing but a nub left in his hand, but he's got another RBI in the RBI column. As Bubba Crosby, with a good read off a second, took off when that ball was hit, and he comes around to score.
You know, I don't know how this is going to turn out. He's already blown the lead. But as I said when they made the move, I mean, you didn't just take out any pitcher. You took out Roy Halladay with 93 pitches. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but you didn't bring in just anybody out of the bullpen.
But
this is the guy.
But this is the guy. But people tell you that Roy Halladay is the best pitcher in baseball, and you're taking him out with 93 pitches to go to the bullpen with nobody on base. That doesn't make sense.
Well, you have to justify the $47 million that you paid B.J. Ryan over the next 5 years.
Well, you just gave Roy Halladay a $40 million 3-year extension.
Well, that tells you should win this game, right?
You would think. But also, if you're going to compare starters to relievers, although B.J. Ryan's had a great season, Roy Halladay's a much better starter than B.J. Ryan as a closer. And again, 93 pitches. That's my argument. It's not as if he was at 110. He's at 93.
But managers go over, prior to the game, they go over the matchups. And the matchup that sprung in his eyes was Jason Giambi against Roy Halladay.
And Bernie Williams down on strikes. But B.J. Ryan has done damage. He knows it. That's why he's barking off the mound. And Roy Halladay has another lead blown by the bullpen, his 5th this year. Yankees tie the score on 2 hits. They leave 2. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Well, it's time for the Blue Jays in-game box score, sponsored by your Tri-State Lincoln and Mercury dealer. 6 hits for the Blue Jays against Mike Mussina. Catalanato with an RBI and a run scored. Vernon Wells 2 for 3 with a run scored. Reed Johnson on that throwing error by A-Rod Reese, he scored a run. Troy Gloss 1 for 3, a double and 3 runs batted in. And Aaron Hill 1 for 3, a double and a run scored, with John McDonald chipping in the other base hit. Well, they're trying to figure out why they took out Roy Halladay. Here, I think this is it, Joe. Yeah, this number. Yeah. Well, now the Yankees got that run back, so it's a 4-4 game as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Yankees have a new pitcher. It's Scott Proctor, and he'll face the top of the order. Breaking ball's a strike. So Mike Mussina, his day is done. 4-10-1 Yanks, and 4-6-1 for the Jays.
So the 2 big starters in the ball game both come away with no decisions.
Scott Proctor has been pitching much better of late. His fastball has more life. The breaking ball is crisp with a good break. 3-2, 4.34. Less than a hit per inning and almost a strikeout per inning. Blew it right by him. No chance. And then every time a Yankee pitcher strikes out an opposing batter just like that, the Tri-State Hyundai dealers will make a donation to the Hope and Heroes Children's Cancer Fund and the Morgan Stanley Children's Hospital of New York Presbyterian. If you would like to contribute along with the Tri-State Hyundai dealers, log on to hopeandheroes.org.
Wasn't fancy, was it? Just plain good old, what does Kitty say? Good old country hardball.
Pitch to Catalanato as a strike.
I disagree with Michael. I think the move was the right move. He gives up a off to the end of the bat off of Giambi. He's given up 3 hits to left-handers. He's had 24 inherited runners, 1 scored out of 26 save opportunities, 24. This guy's been completely dominant. Of his 24 saves, 9 of them have been a 1 inning or more. For him to get Jason Giambi out there, I won't say it's a no-brainer, but he gets off the end of the bat. He walks A-Rod. It's not like he got whacked around. Posada shatters his bat in half.
Line drive right at Cairo. Well, let me ask you this then, Al. Same situation. Al Leiter's on the mound. He's thrown 93 pitches. And Bobby Valentine comes out to bring in John Franco. How would you feel? I mean, 93 pitches.
93 pitches, but how he got there. Now, there was a lot of first ball, second ball hits or at bats, and I said about it. 5 pitch at bat to Damon, 5 pitch to Jeter, 7 to A-Rod in his first 3 at bats. So they were getting in and out, but as Kenny was saying, he wasn't the Doc Halladay of Cy Young kind of stuff. He struggled within the zone. He wasn't dominant. And like what you said, Kenny, before the game, sit down with Brad Arnsberg, manager now of Blue Jays, and you're saying, okay, what's the matchup? You come to 2 outs in the 8th inning, and you got B.J. Ryan as your closer, and you got Giambi up who can hit the ball out of the park, albeit Halladay's a great pitcher. I'm going with that move. Didn't work out, but to me it made sense.
It wasn't the Giambi hit that got him in trouble. It was the walk to A-Rod that moved Bubba Crosby to second base. And even though Posada got jammed, you know, when you put somebody in scoring position, jam hits can beat you. In this case, tie the game.
The 0-2 to Wells. You know, Al, I'd agree with you with any other starter on this Blue Jay team. A.J. Burnett, Ted Lilly, I'd understand all of it. My problem is with Roy Halladay. I don't care. That's Roy Halladay. You talk to most people in baseball, they would rather have Roy Halladay than any other pitcher. And you're taking him out with 93 pitches. That's my problem. Ground ball, base hit by Wells.
That's the beauty of baseball. You can argue strategy. It also gives you time to think about it, too. Here's that pitch up in the zone, and Vernon Wells has always been a good high ball hitter. He's just good, flat out a good hitter. I mean, he can hit low pitches, too, but anything up in his eyes, he's very aggressive. Doesn't walk very often, and he's going to go for it. Anything that he can see well, he's going to swing at.
Well, and if you look at the at-bat there, it's a 1-2 count to Vernon Wells, who is a very, very good hitter. And that was a hanging slider from Scott Proctor. Clearly not the location that he wanted to throw that pitch.
Yeah, these guys in the middle of the order, you don't want to be hanging sliders to.
Here's Troy Gloss. Big 2-run double in the 6th inning. High fly ball right field. Bernie Williams is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the inning. So Scott Proctor works a scoreless 8th, no runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left for the Jays, and we turn it into a 1-inning game. We go to the 9th, and the score is tied at 4. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Clerks 2 in theaters everywhere tomorrow. LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police, and by Jeep, the #1 selling brand of SUVs in the Northeast. B.J. Ryan out to pitch the 9th, and he starts off Andy Phillips with a pitch out of the zone, 1-0. Now 1-1. 4-10-1 Yankees, 4-7-1 for the Jays. And the count 1-2. See what Andy's done. 0 for 3, grounded to 3rd in the 2nd, wrapped into a double play in the 4th. That was a 6-4-3, and then grounded to short in the 7th. Mariano starting to stretch in case the Yankees score a run here in the 9th. Count still 1-2. Crowd of 42,336 here at Rogers Center. So the Yankees bringing a nice crowd, and they're expecting an even bigger crowd tomorrow as a lot of New Yorkers make their way here after work on Friday.
Blue Jays have been averaging about 25,000, I'll be exact, 25,615.
Weak hack there by Andy Phillips. Benji Molina gets an angle. And there's one away. Ryan was one of the more desirable free agents on the market. He was a setup man for a long time with the Orioles, then finally got a chance to close. And a lot of teams had B.J. Ryan on their radar, but they were not willing to pay him what the Blue Jays paid him. And the Blue Jay thinking was, in order for us to get B.J. Ryan to come here and play in Toronto, we're going to have to blow him out of the water. And that's what they did. $47 million for 5 years.
Same thing with A.J. Burnett, who's pitching tomorrow. What did he get, 55?
55 for 5. And so far, that's got them 1 win.
Oh, you got to admit, you know, he's had elbow problems. That set him back.
1-1. There's a strike. 1-2.
Well, that's not a thing new here in Toronto. Having played here a few years, they always overpaid. Not overpaid for bad ball players, to get some of the better players from the States to come up here because of customs and all that. They end up having to spend more than they would if it was in the States. You know, Winfield came up here late in his career. Molitor, I know Jack Morris got top dollar to come up here. Historically, the Blue Jays have always had to do that to get the top players to play here.
I know a big deal used to be the exchange rate, but now the exchange rate is pretty close to the United States.
Which really has helped the Blue Jays as an organization, because that dollar value really costs them, you know, if it's, let's say, $1 million player in U.S. dollars, it's, you know, $1.4 million, $1.5 million in Canadian dollars. And they're, you know, these people sitting in the seats, they're paying these ticket prices in Canadian dollars.
Right, and they're paying their salaries in American money. The 3-2 popped up and out of play, but it's almost, it's not quite, but it's almost 1-to-1 now. And I know that when you played here, Al, I mean, the exchange rate was unbelievable.
60 cents. Getting here today, I went to the exchange, and it's $1.05 something, and they charge $5 for the exchange. I got 86 cents.
(3-2), and Cabrera works a walk. B.J. Ryan not exactly thrilled with that call, but that's the second walk that he's issued. He walked A-Rod in the 8th, and now he walks Cabrera in the 9th, putting the potential winning run on base.
Watch the home plate umpire. A lot of times they'll track the ball and they'll follow their head. His head is basically center of the plate, so that ball was a little bit off the plate. I said early on, Marquez is a guy that you have to throw it on the plate. He is not a pitcher's umpire. That's borderline. Any borderline pitch with him, it's a ball.
Pitch to Cairo is not made as they make the throw to first, keeping Melky close. Melky's amazing, and we've mentioned this over the last couple of days. For a 21-year-old, the eye that he has and the patience that he shows at the plate, and he picks up some pretty big walks and takes close pitches, shows a good eye.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was counting the pitches of how the approach today against Halladay was. The two best at-bats on Halladay was Cabrera. He had a 6-pitch at-bat where he had a base hit, and then he flew out to right on a 7-pitch at bat. Most all the Yankee hitters today, it was 1-2 pitches and they were out of there.
Melky has walked more than he has struck out, and that is that shows you that he, as Michael said, he's got a good eye, but it also shows you his potential for a good on-base percentage in the future, because he's going to become a better hitter as he gets to learn the league. So he can recognize ball strike. He's not up there just hacking away.
Check swing, did he go? No, said Larry Young, and the count is 1-1. Well, by walking Cabrera, unless you get Cairo to bang into a double play, well, if you're Ryan, you know you've got to face Johnny Damon.
I'll tell you what, if he falls behind on the count here, it wouldn't surprise me if Joe Torre put on the hit and run just to try and move things along here.
See that move from B.J. Ryan. He doesn't have a good move, and like most pitchers, especially closers, they will not compromise their delivery to keep a base runner close. They just as soon as see him run and maintain that same delivery. And B.J. Ryan's got a pretty big leg kick. That's a big leg kick.
Fouled back.
Well, now that Cairo's behind on the count, he might rule out the hit and run.
You look at the radar gun readings for B.J. Ryan, and he's now emerging as a top closer. 91, 92, 90. His delivery, he kind of short arms it. He's got a stiff, kind of robotic, stiff arm Iron Mike looking delivery. He throws across his body enough to hide the ball. So even though it's 91, 92, it looks a lot faster than that.
Yeah, he turns his front shoulder, and you're right. It's like the ball comes right out of his uniform.
You hear a lot of guys, they just say I can't pick the ball up.
Runner goes. Foul back.
Well, there's that high leg kick you were talking about. And plus the fact that the Yankees are going to keep running until the Blue Jays throw somebody out, and they haven't done it. And it appeared that Melky Cabrera got a good jump. And I think his thinking is he's not going to throw over there twice. Plus his front foot has gone back behind the rubber. You can't throw to first base. That would have been a ball.
You saw that. He tried the quick pitch. He came up, set, barely stopped. The pitchers have to be set at least a second and then some. Come set.
Good at bat.
You know,
put together by Cairo.
I don't know if you guys remember, but a few years ago, they really were adamant about not having the pitchers deceive the runner, and they made you stop and pause a couple seconds. I remember the umpires came around in spring training and said, we're making you guys stop. No quick pitching. Jim Cott would have been in trouble on that one. Right there, B.J. Ryan, a few years ago, they'd call these balks. He's barely coming set.
See Justin Spire getting ready.
You'll hear from the bench, make him stop.
And it's also strange the way he holds his glove up around his neck and it kind of bobs it a little bit. It doesn't really come to a stop.
I think he did that on the throw over.
Yep. He's thrown 31 pitches so far. And he's going to throw more.
I'll tell you, Cairo can put a tough at bat on anybody because he's tough to strike out. He's going to fight you and fight you and fight you. Foul pitches off. And one thing about this outing for B.J. Ryan, you know, he's thrown enough pitches. Would he be available for tomorrow night?
And I think that's what this visit is. They're getting Spire ready as quickly as possible.
Because Ryan's going to stay in there for at least one more hitter because Johnny Damon's on deck.
Almost seems like he's out there, Al, to give him a breather.
That and also to get Spire ready.
And Damon is on deck when Cairo's at bat is over. Did he go? Yes, he did, said Larry Young. 2 away.
That was his first slider to Cairo in that at bat. And to pick up, see fastball, he's fouling off a lot of good pitches away. Coming out of his hand, B.J. Ryan, that looks just like a fastball about thigh high. And good slider that he threw there just drops out. It's hard for hitters to lay off.
Because Johnny Damon doesn't have great numbers against Ryan, 3 for 20. And it's so important to keep that runner at first, and we saw that in the 8th inning because a bloop single, if you're at second base, gives the Yankees the lead, possibly the game. They want to keep him at first. But there he goes. There's a strike, throw to second, not in time.
No chance to get him. Great jump from Melky Cabrera. Each time after a throw over, he doesn't believe he's going to throw over twice in a row, and he's off and running. Takes the look to see, and he's in there.
Even if he was out, not a bad move, assuming that this game is still tied up in the 10th. That would put Gibbons in a position to have to either bring his closer out again or go to a left-hander to pitch to Damon.
Count 0-2.
Which I don't believe after all these pitches that he would go back to B.J. Ryan if Damon were to lead off next inning had Cabrera been thrown out.
And he does have 3 other lefties in the bullpen, so he could mix and match in that way just for one batter. But he has 2 lefties coming up. Well, he has Jeter and then Crosby. Swing and a miss, so all a moot point as Johnny Damon goes down on strikes. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Bottom of the 9th inning coming up as the Blue Jays try to win it. It's 4-4. Saturday on Yes, the Yankees and the Blue Jays face off in Game 3 of this important 4-game set. Join Al Leiter, Ken Singleton, and me for all the action starting at 4 when the Yankees take on the Blue Jays at Saturday afternoon on Yes. Tomorrow night we are on My 9, Saturday on Yes, and Sunday with the batting practice show at noon, pregame show at 12:30, game time 1:05, also on Yes. Scott Proctor's in there, will face Lyle Overbay. Hard ground ball to second. Cairo gobbles it up, 1 pitch, 1 out. And that'll bring up Benji Molina. He's the birthday boy. 32nd birthday today for Benji Molina. And he is 0 for 3. Molina has some power. He has 8 home runs. We talked about this Tuesday and Wednesday. It seems like over the last couple of years, games that are tied in the ninth inning invariably go longer into extra innings because people don't play small ball. They try and hit the ball out. A walk-off home run be on a highlight reel. And sometimes that takes them out of their usual approach.
Yeah, what you're saying, the hitter's getting the mindset of, you know, just one swing of the bat and I can win this game. You know, I'm in a scoring position when I step into the batter's box.
And you see it all the time. Yankees had it on Tuesday and on a walk-off home run by Melky Cabrera. Fouled away.
I think, you know, you have to keep the same approach you always have. And, that, you know, if you get a good pitch to jump on, you jump on it. But, you know, not every pitch is thrown up there to be hit for a home run. Sometimes you fall behind on the count. You're a little more defensive. Pitcher really has to make a mistake for you to hit one then. I mean, Molina's up there 0-2 count.
Now it's 0-3 as he goes down on strikes. Keep it here after the last out for the Nissan postgame with Bob Lorenz and Kimberly Jones, featuring detailed analysis of tonight's game, interviews with players, plus scores and highlights from around baseball. The Nissan postgame, it immediately follows the game, and it's only on Yes. Here's Greg Zaun. Driven into right field, but Bernie Williams is there, and that'll do it as the Blue Jays go down in order 1, 2, 3 in the ninth. Bonus Cantos. Free baseball coming up. We go to the 10th. The game is tied at 4. Well, we go to the 10th inning here at the Rogers Center. And the Yankees and the Blue Jays are tied at 4. Yankees led 3-0. Blue Jays took a 4-3 lead. Yankees pushed a run across in the 8th inning off the closer, B.J. Ryan. And that's where we stand now at 4-4. As Joe Torre and his bench coach Lee Mazzilli, batting coach Don Mattingly, plot out extra innings. John Gibbons, the manager for the Blue Jays, goes to his third pitcher. It'll be Justin Spire.
Done a pretty good job for the Jays. I think that one number that kind of jumps out is 16 walks and 36 in the third innings, but also the 37 strikeouts. He has good stuff. And like most of the bullpenners for the Blue Jays, he's been busy. It's his 48th game of the year. Make that 44th. Still busy.
What was that number you gave before? 290 some odd changes?
This is the 300th reliever that the Blue Jays have used this year, more than any other team in the American League.
How much more?
I'll tell you in just a second.
So 300 relievers, and this is their 94th game. So that's over 3 per game. Yankees 6-1 in extra innings. Blue Jays perfect 5-0.
Coming into tonight, Texas has used 280 in their second. So 20 more than the next team.
And Texas's starting pitching is not very good. You can almost understand that.
Well, but if you look at this rotation, other than Halladay and Ted Lilly all year, A.J. Burnett's been hurt. We got a Sean Markham who's up from Syracuse.
Josh Towers was terrible for a while.
Chacin was hurt. You know, so really they've had 2 starters. And I don't know how many bullpens in baseball have 4 left-handed relievers with 2 righties. Well, let's eliminate the closer. B.J. Ryan is lefty. He's got 3 lefties and 2 righties. That's a balanced bullpen. It's a lot of mixing and matching.
Spire tried to lead Jeter across the plate on this last pitch, trying to get him to chase one. And we know how the league tries to throw in on the hands of Derek Jeter, but this is the time of game. If you lead one and just miss that inside corner, get it towards the middle of the plate, that's how hitters come up with extra base hits. See where Molina sets up. Yeah, they're going to try and keep the ball away.
Swing and a miss. Jeter down on strikes.
Here's a look at the last one. Looked like a little cutter or a slider away from Derek Jeter, who might have foul tipped it into the glove of Molina. Yeah, he looked back. Yeah, he did foul tip it. I used to hate when that happened. We're going to have a pinch hitter for Bubba Crosby, who pinch ran for Jason Giambi and then became the DH. So now Aaron Guile became the Yankees' third DH of the night.
So Joe going for power here. Sending up a lefty to pinch hit for a lefty. You see what Guile has done with the Royals and the Yankees. Got a big pinch hit single on Tuesday night to help the Yankees tie up a game in the 9th inning against Seattle. And then they ended up winning in 11 on the Cabrera home run.
You know, I was mentioning about the balance of this bullpen. They have 7 relievers, and I was wrong. They have 3 right-handers and 3 left-handers, with the closer Ryan being left-handed.
Yeah, they got Vinny Chalk, Brandon League, and the guy you're looking at right now, Justin Spire, on the right side. On the left side, B.J. Ryan is the closer, and the other lefty, Scott Downs, Scott Schoenweiss, and Brian Tallett. Not many teams could match up like that. 3 and 3, and then the closer. Count 0-2.
What that does, it gives John Gibbons more moves, and maybe that's why he uses so many relievers out of the bullpen. You know, he can always match up lefty-lefty and still have another lefty left over. Yeah.
Yep.
The managers always say they always would love to have at least two left-handers out of the pen, so you don't have to save that one spot for the key lefty.
Breaking ball outside, and the count 1-2.
We were just down in Tampa not too long ago, and they had their first left-handed reliever almost at the All-Star break. After the All-Star break was their first left-handed reliever all season in their bullpen.
Swing and a miss. Got him on a splitter. Last 4 Yankees have struck out. Last 5 Yankees, last 6 Yankees retired strikeouts.
And that was a nasty one. Bottom fell out of it.
This is more of a fork ball. If you could see, almost has like knuckleball rotation. Just drops out.
Aaron Guile, who is a native of Canada, he's from British Columbia.
Here's A-Rod. Two and 0.
This next pitch will tell you how careful Justin Spire is going to be here. If it's, you know, he's gotten to the point where it's 2-0. He's got to throw a strike. A-Rod's locked in. If this next pitch is kind of low and away in the dirt, might as well just put him on.
Although career, he's done much better against A-Rod than he has Posada.
And the count 3-0.
You know he's got the green light.
Troy Gloss pretty much standing on the line, so taking away an extra base hit.
That's not where A-Rod wants to go. He wants to go beyond that fence somewhere.
You know what's strange about that? If you take a look at him close to the line, if a ball gets to the glove side, it could still be a double. It could still get past the outfield or left field.
If he's hitting it hard enough, especially on artificial surface.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it almost plays against the percentages to do that.
Would you have liked to seen him swing there 3-0?
Uh-huh.
3-2.
Get yourselves as many swings as possible in this situation.
Yeah, but you know, Alex, some guys just don't feel comfortable with 3-0 count to swing.
See, that time he went with a little cutter, a little slider.
Another slider.
Foul back.
That time A-Rod was on that one.
And when Alex is really locked in, that ball's right center.
Right center.
He crushes that. That's
deep. Yeah.
Outer half. They'll tie.
He's always hit well here at the Rogers Center.
Three-two. Grounded to short. McDonald across the diamond. And Justin Spire works a 1-2-3 inning. Yankees don't score in the top of the 10th. We go to the bottom of the 10th inning. Yankees 4 and the Blue Jays 4. Hey fans, get a second chance to see the latest game with WB Mason Presents Yankees Encore only on Yes. Tune in every night or the next morning at 9 for the big hits and great plays another time around. Don't miss WB Mason Presents Yankees Encore only on Yes. Yankees go to Mariano Rivera. And he will pitch the bottom of the 10th inning. Now, it's strange to go to Rivera in the tie game on the road because in a road game, you can have a save situation in extra innings. But Joe wants to make sure that there is an 11th.
Well, what he's trying to tell you is that he's willing to use Mariano Rivera for 2 innings. Hold him here, hopes the Yankees can score next inning, and he'll pitch next inning.
Good job by Scott Proctor. 2 scoreless innings, allowed just 1 hit, struck out 2, didn't walk a batter. And a good job by Mike Mussina starting 7 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 6 strikeouts, didn't walk a batter, and actually pitched better than that. Proctor actually threw 18 pitches, 17 pitches, and 1 ball. So 16 strikes. Here's Aaron Hill. He started the 4-run 6th inning against Mussina with a double to left. And that double extended his hitting streak to 10 straight. So he's 1 for 3 tonight. Strike on the inside corner. 1-1. It'll be Hill, McDonald, and Reed Johnson. 8-9-1 for the Jays against the Yankee closer. Jeff Idelson of the Baseball Hall of Fame was at Yankee Stadium yesterday and actually got the cap that Mariano Rivera wore when he picked up his 400th save. Became the first American League pitcher to do that. Mariano signed it, and it will be in the Hall of Fame. Grounded to third, short hop, A-Rod. 1 away.
Well, you give him a few more years, he'll follow that cap to Cooperstown.
Put his head in that cap.
Yeah. And have to make a speech, though. And I'm sure Mariano will be very eloquent.
Usually, milestones like that, they ask for the ball. And Mariano's usually really good about that. But he said he wanted to keep this for himself. So he has the ball from his 400th save. He's now got 401. Pitch to John McDonald is high, 1-0. The 1-0. Fouled away. 1-1.
Oh, you say he has 401?
Mm-hmm.
401 is actually a famous highway here in Canada. It goes from Windsor, Ontario, all the way to Montreal. So Mariano, you can ride that road in style.
Chopper to second, 2 away. And that's going to bring up Reed Johnson with 2 outs here in the 10th inning. Joe wanting to use Mariano for 2 innings. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that on the scoreboard in right field, he knows that the The Red Sox have already won this afternoon and trying to stay a game and a half behind the first place Red Sox. And also put some distance between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. These are important games for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays are 4 games behind the Yankees for second place.
Important for the Yankees, too. They're 4 games back of the Yankees. A 4-game series. They're looking at a tie coming out of here. Blue Jays are.
You would think that this is a series that the Blue Jays want to make a statement to the American League East, to the Yankees and the Red Sox, and you at least want to take 3 out of 4. Taking 4 out of 4, I think that's a little unrealistic to expect, but you know, a split, what does that do for the Blue Jays? They really do have to take 3 out of 4 just to, you know, kind of pound their chest and say, hey, listen, pay attention to us.
And I think much less than what the scoreboard says about what the Red Sox did today. Every series, you try to come in and win the series, and if you win the first game, obviously that gives you a much better chance, especially in 3-game series.
That one is drilled to left field, and Melky Cabrera is right there to put it away. So Mariano works a 1-2-3 inning here in the 10th. Let's take this to the 11th. 4-4, Yankees and the Jays on yes. While we go to the 11th inning, and the Blue Jays go to their 4th pitcher, another left-hander, Brian Talent.
Toronto got Talent in a trade with the Cleveland Indians. He was a former number 2-round draft pick of the Indians. He's making his 22nd appearance. You can see the high ERA, 18 walks in 26 in the 3rd innings. But you can see he's got some power with the 22 strikeouts. So there's a lot of nothing going on when he comes in the game, striking out and walking people.
Posada is 3 for 4. 2 singles and a double. The single in the 8th inning against B.J. Ryan tied the game. That's why we're in extra innings. There's a strike.
6'7". Talent. That's a big man.
Collegiately, he pitched for Louisiana State University. That's a good baseball program.
High drive center field. Vernon Wells back. You know, I almost get the feeling that Vernon Wells plays games with the batters. You know, he turned his back to home plate as almost if he was watching the ball go out and then just settles underneath it.
Number one, he plays a fairly deep center field. So to get the ball over his head, when it usually goes over his head, it's going out of the ballpark. And that's like a walk in the park on this one. Yeah, I got it.
When you say that, it reminds me of an old center fielder I had here in Toronto. Devon White used to do that. Just glide after a ball.
Pitch to Bernie Williams is a strike.
I don't think there was any outfielder who played the wall better than Devon White. He could really scale the wall, make plays, bring home runs back. He just had the talent for getting back to the wall, timing his leap, and bringing the ball back into the ballpark.
Another strike.
Talent was the star pitcher for the LSU's 2000 national championship team.
Count 1-2, wasted that one. Just a bit outside. And the count 2-2. Bernie's 1 for 4 tonight. Drove in a run on a ground ball, also doubled, 2 strikeouts. That's his night. We're in the top of the 11th. It's 4-4, Yankees and the Jays.
You make me think of the movie. It was Bob Uecker's call, wasn't it?
Yep.
Just a little outside.
The 2-2. And the count is full at 3-2. He showed you the numbers. Talent does have a tendency to walk batters.
18 walks in 26 innings. It's never good to walk anybody, but as a reliever, especially coming in a game like this, got to throw strikes and put the ball in play. This guy's no stranger to organizations. He was drafted in '96 by the Marlins, in '97 by the Yankees, and '99 by the Pirates.
High fly ball right field. Reed Johnson will put it away for the second out. Now, Reed Johnson's in there, and Kenny mentioned this earlier. Alex Rios is out with a staph infection, and they were actually very concerned here in Toronto because another young pitcher, Taubenheim, also came down with a staph infection. And when the Blue Jays were away during the All-Star break, they actually scrubbed down each clubhouse, and they used bleach and really tried to make sure that it wasn't something in the ballpark. And there's Alex Rios, who was having such a great year. He actually made the All-Star team, but couldn't play. They think they have it under control. Ground ball by Phillips, and a 1-2-3 inning for Talent as the Yankees go down in order in the 11th. We go to the bottom of the 11th inning. It's Mo time again to work his second inning, 4-4. Well, we go to the bottom of the 11th inning, and the game is tied at 4. Mariano Rivera pitched a 1-2-3 10th. He will pitch here in the 11th, and he'll face 2, 3, and 4 in the Jays order: Catalanato, Wells, and Troy Gloss. Mariano got Aaron Hill to ground to third, John McDonald to ground to second, and Reed Johnson to line to left in the 10th. And you see what Frankie Catalanato has done, 2 for 10 against Rivera lifetime. And Rivera deals. There's the cutter strike. Count 0-1.
Talked about Catalanato being able to make contact, but this will be a true test of his the bat in his hand, as he falls behind 0-2.
Rivera worked inside, then went outside, and now, as Kenny mentioned, down 0-2. And Catalanato will line one into right center field for a base hit. He's a good hitter. For years, they've tried to find the right position for him, but we know he can hit. He's 2 for 5.
Yeah, he started out as a second baseman, and once again, I think Posada actually wanted this ball off the plate with an 0-2 count, but you can see the ball actually caught some of the strike zone. And Catalanato, although he didn't hit it all that hard, he still was able to make contact. You know, coming into tonight, he had 427 swings at a ball this year. Only 28 of them missed altogether. So he's going to make contact when he swings.
Interesting decision now for Gibbons. You have your best hitter up. Do you bunt? Probably not. You're going to go for it. Runner goes. Throw to second. In time. Great scoop by Cairo, and a good tag. So Gibbons tried to swipe the bag to move him into scoring position.
How good has Posada been? He's been throwing the ball excellent, getting it out. Big thing is the good transfer and get the ball out of his glove. Watch how quickly he gets the ball out of his glove. Short, looked like Wells was in his way anyway. Could have been batter interference.
I'll tell you, good play by Cairo to dig it out, make the tag. Posada's thrown out 36% this year.
Vernon Wells hits one deep to left field. Going back, Cabrera. Track. Wall. See ya. Ball game over. Blue Jays win 5-4. A walk-off home run for Vernon Wells. is the first home run that Mariano Rivera has served up this year. It is so rare for him to lose a game like that. Usually little bleeders and bloopers, but that one, a legitimate long ball off the bat of Vernon Wells, his 24th home run of the year. And John Gibbons is probably the happiest guy in Toronto because he's off the hook for taking out Roy Halladay.
That one stayed up. Vernon Wells is very quick, very aggressive, good high ball hitter. And he just got enough, just made it over the wall due to 375 sign in left center field. And he's had a tremendous season. And you can see Melky going back like he has a chance to make the play, but this one is gone.
Vernon Wells 4 for 5 on the game, but none bigger than that. Mo watched it go over, and he loses the game. So Mo gets a fastball up in the zone, and the Blue Jays pour out of the dugout to congratulate Vernon Wells as they win the first game of this 4-game series, and they remain perfect in extra innings when Vernon Wells touches home plate. That makes them 6-0. And Mariano cannot believe it. So the Yankees lose this one 5-4 in 11 innings. When we come back, we'll break it down, we'll give out the awards, and after that, the post game. Blue Jays win.